Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports. The MLS Cup Final this weekend. The LA Galaxy, second seed LA Galaxy, taking on the Eastern Conference 7th seed Red Bull New York. LA Galaxy finished this year second in the Western Conference with a record of 19 wins, 7 draws, and 8 losses. Also tied with LAFC, by the way. But LAFC were first, had the advantage, so they got first place. They scored 69 goals this season. Nice. Third in MLS, which is, the people that were on top, the teams that were on top of LA Galaxy in goals were Inter Miami and Columbus Crew. So the two top dogs in the East were, but as far as the West goes, LA Galaxy was the best attacking team in the Western Conference, and also allowed 50 goals this season, making them the 7th best defense in the Western Conference. I'm not going to do the math for the entire league. I'm just not going to do it, okay? All right. Obviously, how they got here, they defeated Colorado Rapids in the first round. It was a 2-game sweep. Obviously, we all remember Ricky Puig complaining about about the time that between the round 1 and quarterfinals. We all were there for that. They then defeated. Who did they defeat? Who did they play against? Minnesota. They then defeated Minnesota 6-2, and now defeating the Seattle Sounders in the Western Conference Finals to now be here in the MLS Cup Final. Oh, god dang. Something went down the pipe wrong. All right. So that's the team from the West, the LA Galaxy. Now, the team from the East, Red Bull New York, they finished 7th place in the Eastern Conference with a record of 11 wins, 14 draws, and 9 losses. I'm sure everybody's pissed off just by hearing that record. They scored 55 goals this season, which was 5th in the Eastern Conference, and allowed 50 goals this season, which ties them at 7th in the Eastern Conference, which ties them with the team they defeated in the last round, Orlando. Columbus Crew defeated Red Bull New York defeated the Columbus Crew in their first round matchup, going to 3 games, I believe it. Yeah, I think it went to 3 games. Let me just double check. Red Bull New York matches. Yeah, they beat Columbus Crew in 3 games. Then they defeated Hudson River Derby. Won the Hudson River run against New York City FC in the conference semifinals, and of course beating Orlando on the road to be here in the MLS Cup Final. And here they are, 2 teams have gone through the gauntlet that is the MLS Cup playoffs, and now are 1 game away in hopes of lifting the 2024 MLS Cup. Obviously, with LA Galaxy, you have that attack. That fast attack with Gabby Peck, Paintsel, and of course, Jovic up top. Now, big loss for them is Ricky Puig. I think that's going to be a tremendous loss. Defensively, I think LA Galaxy has done a fairly good job this playoffs, and I'm hoping that can continue for them. But I think Ricky Puig is going to be a tremendous loss. It's going to be crucial that Marco Rose can somewhat replicate, which I'm sure he's capable of. It's Marco Rose for crying out loud. For him to be able to deliver the same way that Ricky Puig did, I think he has a fairly easy job of it too, because obviously Gabby Peck, Paintsol, and Jovic are really good at getting to the ball and finding a path to the goal. So I think that as far as that goes, the LA Galaxy just needs somebody to quarterback that from that midfield to his weapons, and it should be, close up shot for LA Galaxy as usual. Now on the Red Bull New York side, while they haven't necessarily been the best team throughout the regular season, the playoffs they have been able to turn around defensively, and I think that that's one of the things that is the good part of them. Now, Orlando, probably some people had some good things to say about their ball delivering in the midfield, and Red Bull New York did fairly well to shut that down. And I think that goes back to the way they adjust defensively. I think if they are able to be disruptive in the midfield, be disruptive on the wings, which they have guys that can do that, it will also be a grind for LA Galaxy. If they're able to be disruptive, especially in the midfield, make it feel once again like there's multiple players on the field, I think Red Bull New York is just going to be, once again, just buying their time, absorb, till they get a crucial opportunity where they can use the counterattack, get the ball to either Vanzier or Lewis Morgan, a lot of their quick options to get one over LA Galaxy. So that's at least should be their key on how to win this game. With that being said, the game is in Los Angeles, in Carson, California, home of the LA Galaxy, Dignity Health Sports Park. I think the interesting thing about the LA Galaxy will be which LA Galaxy are we going to see today? Are we going to see the 6-2 LA Galaxy that we saw from Minnesota? Or are we going to see the 1-0 like we saw with Seattle? And I think that that's kind of like the really give or take what it could be. For Red Bull New York, I think we're going to see what we expect to see them be a counterattack team, absorb, be disruptive in the midfield when capable of, either hope for a set piece opportunity, which they will try to capitalize on, or just be able to get one off the counterattack and surprise the defense, which, I mean, like I said, LA Galaxy maybe not the best defensive team out there, but in the playoffs they have done fairly well as well. So while I have praise for Red Bull New York's defense, and I think could be a way for them to win, you lose Ricky Puig, which in hindsight, in most teams, if you have a player of the caliber of Ricky Puig, you're not going to win that game. But the guy that's going to come in to fill in that Ricky Puig role is Marco Rose. And I mean, Marco Rose maybe hasn't had the best luck in the world when it came to his time at Borussia Dortmund. Loyal to Borussia Dortmund, by the way, but when it came down to it, just didn't get his moment to shine. Even for Germany, he was injured when they won the World Cup. So I think he's hungry. I think he wants to come in and have his moment. And this is his opportunity, man. Obviously it wasn't that long ago where he was in the Champions League final and he didn't get his moment. So maybe this is his moment. This is gonna be to me, all eyes are on Marco Rose. If Marco Rose can put in a solid shift and fill in that role that LA Galaxy has now lost with Ricky Puig out, LA Galaxy wins this, bar none. I think his IQ is going to be enough to be able to see ahead of what Red Bull New York is going to do, especially in the midfield, to try to be disruptive in the midfield. I think Marco Rose is going to be able to get the ball to Pencil, to Peck, to Jovic. And I think we're gonna see it's not gonna be a blowout. I don't think it should be a blowout. I think both teams are fairly well defensively. I think both goalkeepers are very good. Um, but I think when it comes out to it, when it comes to the guys that can come in big, the names are just more in LA Galaxy. I mean, Red Bull New York, yes, they got Forsberg, which is a great name. But and Lewis Morgan and Venzier, they have guys, especially off the counter. But the guys, at least as far as confidence that I have in the options for counters that the LA Galaxy has, which is Peck, Paintsel, and Jovic, I like their odds more than Forsberg, Lewis Morgan, and Venzier. I'm probably missing some names as well, and I'm sure some Red Bull New York fans will tell me about it. But I think LA Galaxy are going to be the clear favorites. It's in Carson, California, so I think that the advantage does go to the Galaxy, and I think the Galaxy, gets their complete turnaround. I think the Cinderella story ends for Red Bull New York here, and LA Galaxy lifts yet another MLS Cup to continue their reign of terror on the MLS. So that's my prediction, man.